The top 10 times Donald Trump FAFOed about America and the Constitution. Donald Trump has spent years treating the U.S. Constitution like it's a suggestion box at a Marriott. He approaches democracy the same way he approaches contracts. Skim it, ignore the hard parts, then scream when enforcement shows up. He genuinely believes being loud is the same thing as being right. He also believes if something inconveniences him, it must be unconstitutional, unfair, or a witch hunt. This list exists because Trump keeps stress testing democracy like a drunk man leaning on a glass door. Every entry ends the same way. Courts involved, institutions annoyed, Trump confused. We're calling it FAFO dead because he keeps messing around with the rules and discovering they don't care about his feelings. These are real dates, real actions, and real consequences. The last one is in the future because momentum doesn't stop just because Trump pouts. Let's count down the greatest hits of constitutional ignorance. Number 10, June 16th, 2015, Trump Tower, New York, campaign launch via racism speedrun. Trump launched his presidential campaign by accusing Mexican immigrants of being criminals and rapists. This was his opening argument for leading a constitutional republic. The Constitution guarantees equal protection. Trump offered vibes and xenophobia instead. He assumed racism plus confidence would sound like leadership. Black Americans immediately recognized a scam with a microphone. The Republican Party thought they could control him like a pet raccoon in a suit. They were wrong and deserved that lesson. Trump FAFOed when the party fractured and extremism became the brand. What changed was the political tone of the country, for the worse. Unknown fact, multiple GOP elites tried to stop him early and failed. Trump learned attention is easy, governing is not. Number 9, August 12th, 2017, Charlottesville, Virginia. Very fine people meets moral bankruptcy. When white supremacists marched openly with Nazi slogans, Trump responded by saying there were very fine people on both sides. The Constitution does not require neutrality toward Nazis. That's not a clause. Trump assumed he could wink at extremists without consequences. Black America heard the dog whistle and rolled their eyes so hard they saw ancestors. Corporate leaders fled his advisory councils immediately. Trump FAFOed when his presidency became morally radioactive. The change was permanent damage to his credibility. Even allies had to pretend they didn't know him. Unknown fact. Aides begged him to correct the statement and he refused. History books will not soften this one. Number 8, January 27th, 2017, Washington, D.C., the Muslim ban written like a group text. Trump issued a Muslim travel ban with the legal precision of a bar napkin. The Constitution requires due process. Trump offered panic and prejudice. Airports turned into chaos because nobody thought through the law part. Lawyers showed up faster than TSA lines. Judges blocked the policy repeatedly. Trump FAFOed because courts don't care about your intent, only your competence. The administration had to rewrite the ban multiple times. What changed was public awareness of executive overreach. Unknown fact, career officials warned this would fail and were ignored. Trump learned executive orders are not magic spells. Number 7, July 30, 2020, Washington, D.C., suggesting democracy take a nap. Trump suggested delaying the election because mail-in voting scared him. The Constitution does not let presidents pause elections like a video game. Black voters recognize suppression tactics instantly. States and courts shut the idea down without drama. Trump FAFOed because election law is boring, strict, and undefeated. The attempt backfired by energizing turnout. What changed was national legal readiness. Unknown fact, election workers received threats and still delivered results. Trump learned calendars don't negotiate. Number 6, January 6, 2021, Washington, D.C., inciting a mob versus reality. Trump encouraged supporters to fight and then watched a mob attack the Capitol. The Constitution requires peaceful transfer of power, not vibes-based rebellion. Black Americans watched this unfold and said, so this is law and order? Congress reconvened anyway. Trump FAFOed through impeachment, investigations, and criminal prosecutions. The change was permanent historical disgrace. His name is now attached to an insurrection paragraph forever. Unknown fact, multiple officials refused unlawful demands that day. Trump learned mobs don't replace ballots. Number 5, August 8th, 2022, Mar-a-Lago, Florida. Classified documents are not souvenirs. Trump kept classified documents at his resort like they were souvenirs from office. The Constitution demands loyalty to national security, not ego storage. The DOJ requested compliance politely. Trump ignored them repeatedly. The FBI executed a search warrant. Trump FAFOed because laws apply even if you yell. The change was renewed scrutiny of executive accountability. His defenders pretended shock. Unknown fact, escalation came after months of refusal. Trump learned mine doesn't override classified. Number 4, December the 3rd, 2022, suggesting the Constitution be terminated. Trump publicly suggested terminating parts of the Constitution over election grievances. That's not confusion, that's authoritarian brain leakage. Black Americans heard it and said, ah, there it is. Legal scholars and even Republicans recoiled. Trump FAFOed by putting intent on record. The change was hardened institutional resistance to his return. Unknown fact, this statement is now cited in Democratic threat assessments. Trump learned quiet parts shouldn't be tweeted. Number 3, 2023 to 2025, multiple courts, election denial meets evidence. Trump filed dozens of election challenges without proof. Courts dismissed them repeatedly and politely. The Constitution runs on evidence, not vibes. Trump assumed repetition equals truth. He FAFOed because judges require receipts. What changed was stronger election defense infrastructure. Unknown fact, many rulings were unanimous. Trump learned lawsuits are not press conferences. Number two, 2025 to 2026, Epstein files fallout, paperwork is unforgiving. And as Epstein-related documents began releasing under court oversight, Trump's name resurfaced in uncomfortable ways, not always as charges, but as proximity and pattern. Transparency laws don't care about branding. Trump FAFOed because documents don't forget. The change was renewed public demand for elite accountability. His defenders screamed conspiracy instead of reading. Unknown fact, document volume slowed releases, not relevance. Trump learned fog doesn't erase ink. Number one, November 2026, United States, the electoral reckoning. November 2026 is shaping up to be a historic rejection of Trump-style chaos. Voters are tired of dysfunction, threats, and constitutional disrespect. Black voters, young voters, and moderates are mobilized. Even if Trump tries to rig, contest, or delegitimize results again, the system is ready. Courts, states, and civil society have been trained by his failures. Trump will FAFOed when turnout overwhelms theatrics. The result is projected to be a massive Democratic victory, potentially the largest supermajority driven by backlash. What changes is legislative power and democratic reinforcement. Trump will learn democracy corrects itself. Eventually, Donald Trump never understood the Constitution because he never respected limits. He thought volume was authority and lawsuits were leadership. Every time he pushed, the system pushed back harder. Black Americans recognize the danger early because we've lived under unchecked power before. The Constitution isn't perfect, but it works when people defend it. Trump's legacy may be strengthening civic engagement by being terrible at democracy. He keeps getting FAFOed because rules don't negotiate, and history does not care about branding.